Do not capture the Galarian legendary birds yet. Let me explain.
Butterfree, go!
Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I brought you guys a brand new video today, and today I'm gonna break down the reasoning as to why you do not want to catch the Galarian legendary birds, Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos just yet. And it all comes down to marks. Marks are one of the coolest things in Pokemon Sword and Shield, in my opinion, and I want to let you guys know about this. And hopefully you haven't caught the birds yet. Maybe you have, maybe you caught one or two of them, but let me break it down for you guys. And if you haven't caught them yet, you gotta watch this video first. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and make sure you guys get those notifications turned on as I do post Pokemon videos every single day, and you do not want to miss our Crown Tundra coverage. If you've already caught the legendary birds, you'll probably find this interesting and useful and helpful in the future. So let's break it down. Let's talk about marks, what they are, what they do, and why you definitely want them on your legendary bird trio. So for those who are unaware, marks are a really cool feature added to Pokemon Sword and Shield that add what's like basically a ribbon or flavor text to a particular Pokemon. So for example, a couple months back when the Isle of Armor came out, I caught a shiny Scyther, and it was ultimately marked, which made it even rarer, and when I send it out into battle, it is called Mojito, which is the nickname I chose for it. Mojito the Lively. That extra flavor text is added when it's set in a battle, and it's one of the coolest things in Sword and Shield in my opinion, especially for people like myself who love to shiny hunt, love to make our Pokemon even rarer than usual, and beyond. But with the legendary birds, Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos, they actually cannot be shiny in Pokemon Sword and Shield. The Crown Tundra DLC has shiny locked the Galarian legendary birds, so ultimately there's nothing we can really do about it. However, when you capture them in the wild area, in the Crown Tundra, and in the Isle of Armor, there is a very small percentage chance to find a mark on these Pokemon. Now, if you've already caught them, you've unfortunately missed this opportunity, but a lot of people have reached out to me with very, very cool marks on their various Galarian birds, and it might as well, or you might as well rather, add that extra feature of rarity to your Galarian bird. So let me tell you guys a little bit about how marks break down. If you didn't know, the Isle of Armor actually presented us with the Mark Charm, which is an item much like the Shiny Charm that is going to triple your chance of finding a mark. According to Cerebi.net, I have the odds here. Finding a rare mark is a 1 in 1,000 chance, whereas the Mark Charm brings it to 3 in 1,000. A personality mark is a 1 in 100 chance, which again tripled to 3 in 100. The weather marks, which are some of the more common ones, are 1 in 50 or 3 in 50 with the Mark Charm. The time marks are 1 in 50 or 3 in 50 with the Mark Charm. And then ultimately, if you're fishing, which isn't applicable here, it's 1 in 25 or 3 in 25. Again, when you send out the Pokemon into battle, it is going to have a special flavor text, which is really, really cool. And there's different marks, and the chances of getting a mark does actually roll through all the opportunities. So if you're doing it in the morning and it's cloudy out, you have the time mark, you have the weather mark, and they'll all roll. You'll only get one if you get one, but you'll have a chance of getting all of them. And if you end up doing the math and you catch it in the weather and things like that, there's roughly about a 1 in 20, or about a 20%, maybe a 25% chance that you'll actually get a mark on a Pokemon if you have the Mark Charm in weather. But as I said, they can get super rare. And taking a look at some of these really cool marks, how cool would it be if you sent out something like your Galarian Zapdos, right? And you sent it out and it's called Zapdos the Thunderstruck. Or if you sent out your Galarian Articuno and it's called Articuno the Shivering, or Articuno the Snow Frolicker, or something like that, right? What if you sent out Articuno the Mist Drifter? These, in my opinion, are so cool, and it's such a sick feature that you guys can get through your Pokemon. And again, there's even rarer marks like the Lively, which is 1 in 100, but there's even rare ones. Like, let me pull up some of the 1 in 1,000 ones here. I think, yeah, here's one right here. The Recluse, I think, is actually the rarest one. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, someone had sent me a Moltres the Recluse or something. I'm actually going to dig through some tweets right now to see if I can find them, because it's super duper cool. So the one thing I want to mention here that makes this super important is when you encounter the legendary bird, and I've got some footage from my live stream of me doing Articuno. You guys actually helped me through this. When you encounter the legendary bird, you can save before you actually encounter it. You're going to encounter it, you're going to battle it, you're going to capture it. You won't know it has a mark until after you capture it. After you capture it, you check the summary screen and see if it has a mark. If it does not have a mark, you obviously reset so you don't keep the capture. but you cannot capture that exact same one again because it's already determined at that point in time. So you actually have to leave the location, in my case, leave the Crown Tundra, leave the Isle of Armor, leave the wild area, and come back, track down that legendary bird again, and then capture it. You have to basically reforce that spawn to happen again, so it rolls a new nature, rolls new stats, and rolls the potential for a mark. Let me see if I can dig up some of those marked birds you guys sent me online. Here's a cool image of Dead Wolf getting Zapdos the Cloud Watcher. And this person got Zapdos the Sociable. I'm pretty sure this guy, Trainer Abbas, actually hit the jackpot because he got a modest Articuno, and it's Articuno the Recluse, which is the rarest mark you can actually find. Seagull here found Articuno the Sociable as well, and Too Late found Articuno the Snow Frolicker, which I absolutely love. Keith here was able to find Moltres the Sodden, and Mr. Jesper found Moltres the Sociable. So as you can see, a handful of these different people have found marked legendary birds. And again, we cannot shiny hunt these legendary birds, so unfortunately, this is our best bet, is to get cool marked legendary birds. In fact, I haven't even caught in my birds yet because I want to ensure that I take the time to get a super cool mark on them, so that way if I use them in battles and stuff like that, they'll actually have that flavor text. As a shiny hunter, I feel like I'm constantly looking for ways to make the game more challenging and find new and unique ways to track down rare Pokemon. And I feel like marks are exactly that. If you want to hear more information about marks, I actually have another video that I'll include in the description below that you guys can check out that's going to break down marks a little bit more in depth. But ultimately, all you need to know is that every time you capture a Pokemon in the wild, there is a small chance that it's going to feature a mark. And some marks, in my opinion, are cooler than others. Some are just really funny and cool to laugh at. Others really fit the Pokemon, like Articuno the Snow Frolicker, in my opinion. But ultimately, it just adds another level of rarity to that super epic Pokemon that you're taking on your adventure. I want to emphasize that marks cannot be found through breeding, they cannot be found through raid dens, they cannot be found through raid den adventures, and they're not findable on static spawns. They're only found on wild Pokemon, which makes it even rarer. So in cases like some of these Pokemon, like these legendary birds and Pokemon that are found out in the wild, it's one extra way to make them super cool. And one thing that I'm really excited about is the new item, the ability patch, allows us to get hidden abilities on Pokemon found in the wild, so we can actually get marked hidden ability Pokemon for the first time ever through the Crown Tundra. I know for sure that I want to get a shiny Frostmoth that's marked as the Snow Frolicker or something similar that has its hidden ability Ice Scales. That is one of my top goals for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I'm so destined and determined and really excited to try to track that thing down. Let me know what mark you think is the most fitting for these 3 Galarian birds. I'll have a link in the description of Cerebee's website, which breaks down every mark you guys can find. And let me know if you guys had any luck finding these legendary birds. Hopefully you saw this video before you hunted them down. If you've already caught them, unfortunately you missed that opportunity. I've been working so hard to get you guys these videos, but things have been crazy with me doing my big charity marathon. But I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you guys found it as interesting as I do, because I love marks. I think they're so cool. I've actually caught a mark. I got Stunfisk the Grumpy recently, which was so funny. A shiny Stunfisk the Grumpy. I just think it's a super cool feature. I hope you guys share that same sentiment with me. And thank you guys for watching this video. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely check out this one right here. Otherwise, you should check out this one. Otherwise, they're gonna shiny lock every Pokemon in the game.